Donald Trump spent yesterday spreading unhinged conspiracies about the shooting in Butler, Pennsylvania. Donald Trump did that at a speech, I guess that's what they're calling it these days, that he gave in Howell, Michigan. While that was taking place, the Democrats were holding the Democratic National Convention where they were talking about joy, and it was fun, and they had great speakers who are talking about discrete policies to move America forward. Going back to Donald Trump's speech in Howell, Michigan, the topic Trump was supposed to speak about was crime. Donald Trump basically did not talk about that at all. Instead, Donald Trump talked about himself. He attacked Vice President Kamala Harris's appearance and her laughing, and he went on with all of that. And then he talked about, he said, the reason that he thinks he could have gotten shot in Butler, Pennsylvania, he said, is because of his positions about Mexican factories. He said, perhaps because he's calling Mexican factories dangerous, that is why the shooting took place in Butler, Pennsylvania. I know this really kind of went unnoticed in his speech, but we noticed it here in the MeidasTouch Network. Here, play this clip.
But they're building some of the biggest plants, and I have a friend who builds plants. He said some of the biggest in the world, I think he's doing them, are being built in Mexico. And they're going to sell cars, produce them and sell them in this country with no tax. It's not going to happen. And I told him, I said, you better hope I don't win. Always dangerous to say these things. Maybe that's why I get shot at and other people don't. Right, John James? That's probably why I get shot at. Other people, they'll protect other people because they can't believe they got so lucky. But I have to do what I have to do.
Now, again, how pathetic can you be that you are spreading unhinged conspiracies and blaming, Mexico for the shooting that took place in Butler, Pennsylvania? We know who the shooter was, an adult male Republican who belonged to the gun range, and it was a Second Amendment, fetishization kind of MAGA person. We know who the shooter was. The family had the MAGA signs in their house. This was a Republican family that, in fact, the Trump campaign targeted in 2016 with, they put him on a list and they targeted the ads towards this family, but you have to ask yourself, why is Donald Trump continuing to behave the way he is about this shooting? Now, remember about 2 weeks ago or so when Donald Trump held a press conference, and he was asked, this was, I think, a press conference that he held in Mar-a-Lago, and he was asked about the shooting. Here's what Donald Trump said. He said that the bullet hit him on the lobe. He doesn't really know what the lobe is, clearly. And then he said that he's a quick healer, and then that's why the AR-15 bullet left no marks at all. Here, play this clip.
Yeah, pretty much recovered, yeah. I'm a fast healer. It's a hell of a shot. But I'm a fast healer. Yeah, pretty much recovered. No, it didn't hit that. I got very lucky. It just hit the lobe, as they call it. Yeah, a little bit, not much. On top.
And look, we've previously shown you photos of Donald Trump's ear, the specific ear where the bullet apparently hit. And if it's an AR-15 bullet that hit his ear, you could see his ear right there. Let me show you. This is what the FBI director, Christopher Wray, said when he went before Congress. And he said, look, with respect to the shooting, we don't really know if it was the bullet, if it was shrapnel, if it was a piece of the bullet. Play this clip.
I think with respect to former President Trump, there's some question about whether or not it's a bullet or shrapnel that hit his ear. So it's conceivable. Although, as I sit here right now, I don't know whether that bullet, in addition to causing the grazing, could have also landed somewhere else. But I believe we've accounted for all of the shots in the cartridges. So let us.
Right. So Donald Trump's response to that was to call for FBI Director Christopher Wray to be arrested. Christopher Wray is the FBI director who Donald Trump appointed. He's a Republican, a lifelong Republican. But here Donald Trump writes, Chris Wray is a liar and a criminal, and I hope he's reading this. And that's, he's quoting Tucker Carlson there. And then Donald Trump reposts this from Laura Loomer. What did you know and when did you know about it? Read truth if you want to know who ordered the assassination of Donald Trump. So Donald Trump spreading another conspiracy. Donald Trump spread the conspiracy I showed you at the outset of this video. Now he's saying somehow his position on Mexican factories led to the shooting. I mean, how pathetic can you be that that's where you're going with this? And here he's now saying that somehow his own Republican FBI director, who he appointed, who he said was a great guy. Now Donald Trump is basically implying that Christopher Wray was behind his assassination. What, with the Mexican factory workers? Laura Loomer, who's one of Donald Trump's kind of right-hand allies, one of the top MAGA surrogates right now, she goes, Donald Trump retweeted this photo on Truth Social that insinuates that FBI Director Christopher Wray may have been involved with or even ordered the attempted assassination of Trump. We can't trust the FBI. The attempted assassination was an inside job. I like to cook. It's a great way to unwind after a long day, but going food shopping and getting all of the ingredients can be super time consuming, so I found a better way with Marley Spoon. This podcast is sponsored by Marley Spoon. Marley Spoon knows bland food is boring, so they created the best tasting meal kit money can buy. With our code Meidas, you can get up to 25 free meals. With Marley Spoon, you can choose from over 100 delicious recipes every week, from Cajun spiced chicken to poached salmon to butternut squash gnocchi to a vegan burrito bowl. My favorite recent meal from Marley Spoon is that Cajun spiced chicken. It is delicious, and many of the recipes are completely customizable, whether you're looking for vegetarian meals, family-friendly dishes, or low-carb options. Marley Spoon has the food that you want to eat. Marley Spoon even has an in-house registered dietitian who actually assesses every recipe, so it takes the guesswork out of eating healthy. There's something really rewarding about cooking food yourself and it tasting amazing versus doing expensive, unhealthy takeout. Marley Spoon also saves you from making that extra grocery haul with their online market of pantry essentials. You can shop their selection of 125 plus items like seasonal produce, ready-to-heat options, meal shortcuts, extra proteins, and handy snacks, and easily add them to the My Next Marley Spoon box. With meal planning and food shopping taken care of, making delicious food at home has finally become effortless. Plus, with Marley Spoon, you aren't locked in long term. Marley Spoon's flexible subscription allows you to edit, pause, or cancel your boxes anytime. So, experience the most personalized meal kit with Marley Spoon. Head to marleyspoon.com/offer/Meidas and use our code Meidas for up to 25 free meals. That's right, up to 25 free meals with Marley Spoon. One last time, that's Marley Spoon, MarleySpoon.com/offer/Meidas, MEIDAS, for up to 25 free meals. And make sure you use our promo code Meidas so they know that I sent you. And then Donald Trump tried to profit off of this. He's selling, we've talked about this before, and I don't want it to go off of our collective radars, right? Because I think this is important, just how pathetic this is. Trump is selling assassination edition sneakers for $299. He's still selling them. In fact, he's expanded his offerings. He now has 9 different kinds of Trump footwear, assassination sneakers that he is selling. You could even get the Fight, Fight, Fight boots. You could get the Fight, Fight, Fight black sneakers, assassination edition, limited edition. He's going to be selling them the same way he's selling Bibles, sticky Bibles for $60. He's selling assassination edition sneakers right here. You know, and as we're kind of watching all of this unfold and we're seeing what Donald Trump's saying in Howell, Michigan, you know, there was that speech that was given last night that really resonated with me, which compared Donald Trump to Maduro, that compared Donald Trump to Castro, that compared Donald Trump to, you know, all of these kind of actual communist leaders in South America. Ana Navarro, Republican, gave this speech, and she fled communism in Nicaragua. And so she goes, look, I know a lot about this. I want you to watch as she describes and compares the behavior of Trump to Maduro, to Castro, and other South American dictators. Watch this, and then I want to link this to the shooting in Butler with the assassination attempt on Maduro. You'll see how I'll link this all together. Here, playing this clip.
Let's be serious. Donald Trump and his minions call Kamala a communist. I know communism. I fled communism from Nicaragua when I was 8 years old. I don't take it lightly. And let me tell you what communist dictators do. And it's never just for one day. They attack the free press. They call them the enemy of the people, like Ortega does in Nicaragua. They put their unqualified relatives in cushy government jobs so they can get rich of their positions, like the Castros do in Cuba. And they refuse to accept legitimate elections when they lose and call for violence to stay in power, like Maduro is doing right now in Venezuela. Now, you tell me something. Do any of those things sound familiar? Is there anybody running for president who reminds you of that? And I know one thing, it's not Kamala Harris. That is not the America we love. It's not the land of freedom we treasure. Last night, we heard President Biden say that he loves his job, but he loves his country more. Every American needs to love our country more. Every American has the duty to put our country first. Country first before party. Country first before political ambition. Country first before habit. And in this election, putting country first means one thing and one thing only: voting for Kamala Harris.
You know, and you take a look at what she said right there. And I think it's a point that we've been making all the time here on the MeidasTouch network, that Trump definitely resembles like a Maduro. I mean, think about this. Here's Maduro right here in a speech that he gave. It's in Spanish subtitles, but it's 30 seconds, but watch it. And hear what Maduro says: if you don't want Venezuela to fall into a bloodbath or a fratricidal civil war, you have to vote for him. Here's what he goes. Here, play this clip.
Que Venezuela caiga en un baño de sangre, en una guerra civil fratricida, producto de los fascistas. Garanticemos el más grande éxito, la más grande victoria de la historia electoral de nuestro pueblo.
And then, of course, Maduro, intimidated voters. Maduro lost the election, and now he's claiming that he won. Just here's Donald Trump from the speech that Trump gave yesterday in Howell, Michigan, where Donald Trump basically says that the police should be at the voting sites intimidating voters in the United States of America. You'll play this clip.
Because they've handled themselves and crime and everything else in a stern way, and it's probably a lot easier to do. Maybe we should switch them, move them around to different territories of your state or of our nation, and let some other guys take. Would you like that, fellas? I have a feeling you don't want that. I don't want to embarrass it. I don't want to say any particular names of locations, but I can think of a big one in this state. I'd love to have them working there during the election.
Now, I said I would tie this all together as well. Here is a video of the assassination attempt regarding Maduro in Venezuela. I want you to watch this, and then how Maduro used that to then claim it was America was behind it and all of these things, and spread conspiracies. Here, play this clip.
Ha llegado la hora de la recuperación económica y necesitamos Han intentado asesinarme el día de hoy y no tengo duda que todo apunta a la derecha, a la ultraderecha venezolana en alianza contra la ultraderecha colombiana, y que el nombre de Juan Manuel Santos está detrás de este atentado. No tengo duda.
Now, what I want to share with you as well is, here's the clip of Donald Trump mocking Nancy Pelosi because Nancy Pelosi's husband was nearly murdered by a MAGA supporter who broke into the Pelosi residence and then tried to kill Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul. Donald Trump's son, Don Jr., mocked it and spread a conspiracy that Paul Pelosi was involved in a homosexual relationship with the individual who tried to kill him. That's what Don Jr. did. And Donald Trump and others spread that conspiracy as well. And then Donald Trump made fun of Nancy Pelosi for the fact that her husband was almost murdered. Here, play this clip.
We had no terror during my administration. The only terror we had was Nancy Pelosi, who's a crazed lunatic. She's a lunatic. She is a crazed lunatic. What the hell was going on with her husband? Let's not ask. Let's not ask. I'll withdraw that statement. By the way, she's got a wall around her house. Obviously, in that case, it didn't work very well, did it? It didn't work.
So I did not want Donald Trump's statement in Howell, Michigan, where he blames Mexican factory workers or Mexican as being somehow responsible for the shooting, which is absolutely false. And here's the thing, as we've said on the MeidasTouch Network, we condemn political violence in all of its forms, number one. Number two, it was a very serious event that took place that we take very seriously here. And so the fact, though, that he would then use that to sell assassination edition sneakers and then to turn it into a xenophobic attack on Mexicans or to attack his own FBI director and then claim that the FBI director who he appointed was involved in it, it tells you what a low character person Donald Trump is. Like, who does that? Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. I wanted to tie this all together. Let's get to 3 million subscribers.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Midas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.